Now, a meeting in Washington held by President Obama to hammer out a joint strategy to combat Islamic State in Iraq and Syria has just concluded. Top military leaders from more than 20 countries were at the talks. Let's now have more on this from our correspondent in Washington, Gayane Chichikyan, who has more. Gayane, thank you very much for being with us. So what has been decided? Has there been a radical change in the approach to combating Islamic State, or what do we have on the table here?
Well, no, Sean. Airstrikes will continue. This is basically what President Obama said. What he also said is that there will be setbacks. Now, the meeting comes at a time when ISIS is making gains both in Iraq and in Syria. The terrorist group has just captured a military base in Iraq's Anbar province. It now reportedly controls around 80% of the Anbar province. And in Syria, ISIS is now fighting over a border town of Kobani. Should they take Kobani, the militants would control 3 official border crossings between Turkey and Syria. And through Turkey, ISIS has received a lot of help. Coalition forces have carried out airstrikes against ISIS near Kobani, but it's not clear whether the local Kurdish militia on the ground can fight them off. President Obama has commented on the apparent failure of airstrikes. Take a listen.
This is going to be a long-term campaign. There are not quick fixes involved. We're still at the early stages. As with any military effort, there will be days of progress, and there are going to be periods of setback.
Well, there's quite a bit of confusion as to the way forward because the results of the coalition efforts so far have been questionable. The terrorists have gained more ground after all. Experts say ISIS is not really structured in such a way as to be vulnerable to airstrikes. Even the Obama administration admits that. But Washington is sending mixed messages as to its plans to engage ground troops. The Obama administration says U.S. forces are now in Iraq only an advisory role. But Martin Dempsey, the chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, said this weekend that when Iraqi security forces are ready to go back on the offensive, he said, my instinct at this point is that that will require a different kind of advising and assisting because of the complexity of that fight. And what we hear from U.S. officials over and over again, that this will be a long fight lasting many years. And a lot of things can change in the meantime.
Thank you. All right. Very interesting to hear your thoughts on the subject. Of course, it could take a long time against a foe that not many people have seen before. So it's going to be very interesting as this all plays out. Gayane Chichikyan live in Washington.